Wanted to share this with you. We did a fire alarm inspection test for this building, and I figured, this could be good information for you guys, for business owners, general contractors, or property management. So just wanted to kind of review this pretty simple template that we do here, kind of walk you through the steps. So after a test is performed, you'll receive one of these reports. And how to break it down is obviously it has the site information right here. And then it has your main panel, the panel that we are testing, and then obviously the model of it. And then obviously these are the different functions that we perform during the tests. So you can see if it passed or if it did not pass. Obviously, if it did not pass, it'd be in red. If it passed, it'd be in green. So based off of this report, this tells you exactly all the functionalities of the fire alarm systems, if they're working properly, if things are not working properly. Obviously, we'll continue down the list, but it'll tell you what exactly is going on, we call it the deficiency list. So we could take it step by step. Like I said right here, as each item says, all alarms received, no, because like I said, we'll see later in the report that there is some deficiencies going on here. So that's why we have to address them. But it's a pretty simple, straightforward report. Um, it kind of tests what's there. So these are horns only. It didn't apply because there was no horns. There's chimes, which is a different type of kind of horn type of device, which does not apply. Speakers did not apply because it wasn't there. Then we get to the bells. So typically for the fire risers, outside of the fire risers, they typically have bells or sometimes weatherproof horn strobes. In this particular case, they had the bells, so they had 5 bells, and they would test it successfully. So obviously, no problems there. If we scroll down here, other devices they did have horn strobes. It did not test successfully. Obviously, I'll break it down later in the report, but basically, they weren't in sync. What that means is when they go off, they're supposed to be in unison, so they go off at the same time. If they do not, if two horn strobes kind of side by side are going off at separate times, that could cause people to have seizures, and that's not what we want. We want it to have it at the same time. Then they also had strobes. Those are just your devices that just flash the lights, so that just identifies there's a an alarm in the building. So they had 14 of them, and those were fine. Those actually synced the way they're supposed to. And then here we go with the manual pull station. So those are the little red boxes, typically by the exit doors. They had 10 of them here. They did not pass. What happened was they were not reporting to the fire alarm system. So if you would pull it to initiate an alarm, the panel was not receiving that input, so it was not projecting an alarm signal. So that's not good. And then they had the water flow test, which is basically there's a little device on each fire riser, and after 90 seconds of flowing water, that flow switch is supposed to send a signal to the fire alarm system to let it know there's an active device. Obviously, the sprinkler system is going off. It's supposed to send a signal to the fire alarm system, and that was not sending a signal, which is not good. And then we had one smoke detector, which is above the fire control panel, that was working properly. And then, like I said, we have other items here: duct detectors. They did not have heat detectors. They did not have, and then we just talked about the switch. It wasn't reporting. And then these are some other functionalities: door mags. I think on a previous video I was showing you a couple of them: hood systems, elevator recall, um, hydrogen. Hydrogen. This did not apply because this building was not equipped with it. And then we have the battery test. So your panel is supposed to have 24 hours of standby power based off of the batteries. So I believe this one, the batteries were incorrect. They were not sized properly. So that's not good. And the central station, that is the monitoring station. So that once the panel sends a signal like an alarm state, it sends it to this central monitoring station, and then basically goes from the panel to the monitoring station to the fire department. That's how the triggers go, and that's how the fire department knows there's an alarm to obviously come to this particular building in case of an alarm. And then just some comments, we had to call the city to get to the fire department. Normally we just call Central Station directly to put it on test, but in this case we had to call the actual fire department to put it on test. And then here is the deficiency. So this gives you more of a breakdown of to exactly what is wrong on those failed line items. Gets more in depth of what exactly is going on. To the case, pull stations were not reporting to the fire alarm panel. So that tells the building owner, property management, what exactly why it failed. And then essentially we have a little summary recapping of everything that goes on here. I would say here's the pull stations, but we break it down as a summary, and then we go through everything in kind of line item, just to kind of make it easier for the building owner, once again, property management, to assess exactly what's involved and why each thing is not working properly. So once again, the manual pull stations were not reporting different things. The PIVs, those are outside of the building. They were not reporting. Um, so that yeah, this is basically a quick. There you go. The batteries wrong size. So this is just basically a quick little summary once again to break down what the problems are. It's pretty straightforward. Of course, there's lingo, right? And obviously, most building owners and property managements are like, well, what does that mean? So this kind of helps them understand a little bit better of what's going on and why the system is failing. But like I said, I just wanted to share this with you. I figured it might be pretty helpful. Some people have seen this report. Some people have no idea what this report is. Um, but I just figured to just show you, kind of walk you through this typical report that we do, and thought it would be helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please share, like, and subscribe.